Hakainde Hichilema arrived at the community house after a weekend holiday in Choma, Southern Province. Straight on, he joined the teachers who played a courtesy call on him to celebrate and thank him for the free education policy and investment in the education sector, which has resulted in the remarkable improvement in the performance. The president says the 70% grade 12 pass rate is proof that Zambia's education reforms are delivering results. The head of state says education must be treated as an investment, not a cost, because it produces the skills needed to drive national development.
Education is investment spending. It's not a cost, it's not consumption expense. And reinforcing. With investment in education, you can produce all the skills that you need. Hope you understand what that means. It means more resource allocation here. Means education takes the central role in the attention that the sector is. We don't play with it. People think we're playing with it. No. We really want to play. And everyone of us must contribute towards that.
He praised both teachers and learners, saying success in education is built on commitment from both sides of the classroom. President Hichilema says free education has brought more than 2.5 million children into school, calling it one of the most important policies of his administration.
On behalf of the people of Zambia, is to offer our sincere gratitude to the teachers of Zambia. You, the teachers of Zambia, for your hard work, for your dedication. You hear me preach about the importance of hard work in this country. And you have exemplified. I believe you also heard me say the test of the pudding is in the eating. What we're celebrating today is a pudding that the peoples have actually eaten and tasted. And the result is what we're here for today. What a wonderful situation. Free education. Every child of Zambia must be treated equally.
He said government will soon legislate free education to protect the policy from future reversal. The president cited the recruitment of over 45,000 teachers, payment of examination fees, and the competence-based curriculum as key drivers of improved learning outcomes.
As Parliament opens, we will proceed this government, this president, will proceed to legislate to make free education into law. So that no one comes to reverse this policy. Because a policy can easily be reversed. But to reverse the law, you've got to go through a process that will expose you. And citizens will say, no, I can't mind.
The president further urged schools to strengthen practical skills training, discipline, and patriotism, saying every child has a talent that must be nurtured.
Provision again, we talked about this. Other supportive facilities, and really teaching materials aid. Very important. The school feeding program is excellent.
Hello.
But it is under it's fun.
Education Permanent Secretary Dr. Calvin Mufumbwe has described the results as historic, saying they reflect deliberate government reforms.
Thank you for your leadership and for the clear interventions we have put in place. It shows confidence in our education system. It's the form of their test. Mr. President, for the very first time since independence, our country has recorded a 70% pass rate that is a 4 post-education level.
Meanwhile, Examinations Council of Zambia Executive Director Dr. Michael Chiala says the improved performance is backed by international standards and stronger systems to curb examination malpractice.
Based on 2020, Mr. President, we found the recruited pass rate at 63%. And in 2025, we have moved 70%.
Loma Boys Secondary School teacher Ruth Nawakwi and Matera Boys teacher says free education, school feeding program, and classroom expansion have restored hope that brought back children who had dropped out. Feeding program has been a blessing. This is a notable and education sector because our learners still have challenges in homes where they're coming from because in the second homes they could not be fed 3 times and coming to school with an so much challenge. But this has been resolved by the time gap. This curriculum has been nothing our passion. It allows us to learn learners in practical skills, critical thinking, and creativity. We see our learners more confident and performing better than ever before. With record.
Hello. Are you
Hello.
there?
Hello.
Yes, are you there?
I'm here.
Yes, I
Can
can
you
hear
hear
you.
me?
Yes, I
Okay,
can hear
great.
you.
Okay, fantastic.
Fantastic. Let me just make one other person join. They are
Okay.
trying to log in, and then we can proceed.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, how's been the day?
Well, the day has been fantastic. I don't know about you there. You see,
Yeah,
it's
I'll
been
try. Yeah.
raining.
Oh, it's raining?
Yeah, but of course, tonight it's not raining, only in some parts of the country. But we've had serious rainfall, which
Ah,
has left devastating effects in many parts of the country.
ah.
But at least government has been responsive enough through the DMMU to
Uh-huh.
deliver relief food in all those the flood-prone areas, like Central Province, Southern Province, Northwestern Province, Eastern Province. I'm sure you saw some houses submerged.
Yeah.
ZAF working with, ZAF, Zambia Air Force working with the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit have successfully rescued families from those disaster-prone areas. But in terms of food security, since we had the meteorological report on the impending floods, where the government had prepared enough, there has been sufficient rice. There has been some medical kits. There has been some, in addition to the medical kits, we've had the midi meal. So we've not been caught napping this time around. So I'm sure from a distance, you've been able to see what has been happening in the country with regard to issues of floods.
Yes,
So
yes,
so
yes.
far so good. We
Okay.
we we are we are in control of the situation as a country.
As a country. Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. All right, gentlemen, let's start the program. Welcome to the Redtagmedia Podcast here in the diaspora, where we share ideas and, of course, contribute to programs and developmental issues of Mother Zambia. Of course, my name is Chanda Chilufia, broadcasting live from Ontario, Canada, and I'm here joined with our special guest, Mark Sumoe, our media director for the UPND. He's here to tackle most governmental, side of the topics that we're going to have today. He's going to give that insight. And of course, we're joined by Mr. Lawrence that is here. And we're from Calgary, I believe. Don't make me say something else. Yeah, I think it's Calgary. Well, Lawrence, you're from Calgary, right?
Yes, I'm in Calgary. Yes.
Yeah. So just a brief introduction so that everybody knows who each other is. So you can just give a brief introduction, and then we'll go to Vakazia, and then we start the program.
Okay. Yeah. So this is Lawrence Malesu. I'm based here in Calgary. I was 10 years in Ontario, just moved here 5 years ago. And I am one of the coordinators of UPND North America.
Yes, that's true. Fantastic. And of course, we got the former PS Kazia, Bachanda Kazia, who's joined us. Of course, he wants to give a different perspective of issues that we'll be discussing today. Welcome, Kazia.
Well, thank you very much, Vatanda, and thank you very much, colleagues that are on this platform. And thank you very much to people that will be following the conversation. I am Tanda Kazia, as you said. I was a former PS, former commissioner. I worked in the public service for 29 years, and I am based in New Brunswick, Canada.
Fantastic. And we've just been joined by Mr. Hamwami, who, of course, is in Scotland, I believe. Scotland or England?
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. Yes, where are you broadcasting live? Just a B. We can't hear you, a little bit faint. Speak up.
I'll be clear very soon. Very soon. I'm calling from. I'm joining you from.
Oh, Mr. Himwami, be closer to your mic.
Okay.
We can't hear anything. Maybe try to reconnect again, because we can't hear anything from you.
Okay, now I think you can get me now.
Yes, we can get you now. Go ahead,
Yes.
just give us a brief introduction, and then we start the program.
Oh yes, I'm Himwami Macha. I'm calling you from Stratford-upon-Avon in England. I'm a teacher by profession, served for over 30 years, and soon to retire. Was at the same college with that resident PS Chandakazia. We used to take PE. He was a good friend of mine, and here we are. We are in our level 50, so we are managing.
Yeah.
The weather in England is cold. It's a bit chilly, but not compared to what you are going through in your Canada there. Then what else? It's raining, and naturally akawari chano mbaline. Mwamfumana pakawari. Mwamona tamwa wino him.
Oh, Chavi Pavane. Chavi
Eh,
These are national duties.
national duty, yes.
Shima will always be there.
Yes.
Okay. So here we go. Mark, welcome to the program. Mark, can you hear us? I think he's saying there's no sound. Mark, are you there?
And I'm a sound is low. Chirishani,
My sound is low?
your sound is low.
Is it?
Yeah. From this other end. Let me cut and connect again.
How's my sound?
Let me cut. I'll join you. Let me cut and join you again.
Okay.
For me, it's very, very good. I can hear you very, very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, gentlemen. Oh, he's lost connection. Mark has lost connection. So, okay. Let me see if we can connect again here. And okay, it's back. Okay. All right. So I think we can start the program. Mark, welcome to the program. Welcome to the show. Of course, we've got maybe three topics to tackle, but of course, want to deal with them a little bit in depth. And I think the first one we want to tackle and to let everybody know, especially people in the diaspora, most people here, they just saw some sort of an announcement by the Lieutenant General to say there is they're going to remove all illegal miners in Kikonge, which is in Mufumbwe District. And of course, General Zyeele issued a warning statement to all illegal miners, and it's been taken, by the opposition to say, why are we targeting our, local miners, and why do we call them illegal? And of course, there's so many various issues that we need to discuss, and the reasons why, the army commander had to come up with this a huge statement. Is it just from without? Are we just trying to, deprive the locals of, their hard-earned money, or what's the big picture that we need to understand? Mark, maybe if you can shed more light on that issue here, so that people can understand.
Thank you very much. And I want to appreciate you for this particular platform. I want to start by, first of all, wishing you a happy 2026. All of you following us on this particular podcast.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. I have to be quite deliberate that Zambia is a country that is ruled by laws like any other countries. The rule of law is one thing that, as UPND, we committed to the Zambian people that our government will strengthen all institutions to provide and guarantee security, safety, human rights, civil liberties, and justice. This has been seen, as many of you may have been following, in many public institutions, including markets and bus stations, which were mostly littered with gun brandishing, cadres, holding machetes, beating up whoever they met wearing a political regalia of another political party other than the ruling party. So the political atmosphere was in a way bumpy and windy for those that had dissenting views until we had the UPND government come in place. Now, the issue of what you consider to be illegal is a matter of law. Anything that is illegal is something that is not supported by the pieces of legislation that we have. For example, when citizens decide to give themselves pieces of land because they are associated, for example, with the ruling party or another political party, without following the procedure of land administration and acquisition in Zambia, that kind of occupation is considered to be illegal. Why? Because there has been no advert from a government institution in the government gazette. There has been no invitation to treaty published through some gazette. There has been no applicant well known. A full council meeting has not been convened to approve specific properties to would-be tenants. There has been no title issued. So when a particular piece of land is occupied without all these things, it is deemed to be an illegal occupation. This is the case in all countries in the world, fortunately. Similarly, when it comes to the administration of land in Zambia, we have more than 23 pieces of legislation that regulate land, including mining rights, because you conduct mining on a piece of land belonging to the government. As you know that all land in government in Zambia, all land in Zambia, according to the Lands Act, you can peruse through online. When you find it, you'll find available sections there, section 8 to section 7, among others. All land is vested in the president, who holds it in a trust on behalf of the people of Zambia. It is not only land when it concerns occupation. It is not only land when it involves agriculture. It is not only land when it involves mining. It is land when you are conducting any activity on that. That is the position of our pieces of legislation. So even when it comes to mining, there are procedures.
Yes.
You have the cadastre that issue or approves licenses or gives mining rights.
Mm-hmm.
And when approving, they must know exactly what you are mining. The reason for the availability of statutory institutions, I think there is feedback because one of the mics are on.
You
Yeah,
guys, if you can just mute yourself,
yeah.
so
So
that
the reason for the existence of these statutory bodies to regulate mining activities is for obvious reasons that there are certain minerals which cannot be mined anyhow because they can pose a serious safety hazard to the public and even to those that are involved in mining. I'll give you an example of uranium. If we had no laws to regulate mining, people would engage in enriching uranium without realizing the health effects that come alongside enriching uranium, among many other minerals. So, as a result of that, we have pieces of legislation which govern mining activities in Zambia. And for one to conduct mining activities, they must acquire mining rights so that exploration works are done. The activities they're supposed to conduct there are known. And then government through, remember this time we have the Minerals Commission, which regulate mining activities.
yes,
It was enacted in 2024. The Minerals, under the Minerals Regulation Commission Act, number 14. This particular act was there to effectively and efficiently regulate the mining sector. Because when we came into power, we realized that this particular commission never existed. We had a situation where political decisions could be made by the minister, a directive, so that cadres could now go and conduct mining activities because there was no institution. It was direct injection. The minister would give instruction to people at the cadastre and they issue. Commissions provide an oversight role, just like the Teaching Service Commission, just like the Public Service Commission. They will assess the qualifications of the people that are employed or hired by government. So now there was no oversight institution. Thus, this commission was put in place. From the time it was put in place, there has been proper accountability. And now we have sanctioned the aerial. I'm sure you've seen the aerial exploration so that we
yes.
know how much land we have, how much minerals we have, so that we can conduct mining activities amid the growing population sustainably. We can as well be able to predict the turnover to the country as a whole over what kind of period we are discussing. Assuming a particular area can only sustain the economy for the next 60 years, and then all the minerals will run into extinction. Because remember, minerals are diminishing resources. They are not like plants that we plant. So, that said, it means that with this particular act put in place, government decided to also enact the Geological and Minerals Development Act number 2 of 2025. This provides for the establishment of a directorate of artisanal and small scale mining, as well as the what is called the ASM fund, meant to support these artisanal and small scale mines in terms of affordable finances. So, what does this particular act entail? For a very long time, youths were going just rushing into the bush and they started digging. And how much they could make, nobody knew. They would die poor, and yet they were engaged in these illegal activities.
Mm.
So, with the establishment of this particular, with the enactment law, the Geological and Minerals Development, which provides for the establishment of a directorate of artisanal and small-scale miners. It means we can now encourage the local people to engage in mining activities professionally, the same way we admit foreign investors. That's what this meant. And knowing that Zambians may not have the capacity to engage in mining activities, sometimes because they will need certain equipments, this particular act meant that this directorate would also facilitate for affordable finance of the local Zambians that may want to engage in mining activities. Hope we are following each other. Having laid that background, colleagues, allow me to indicate that the two pieces of legislation have been deliberate and they've created a framework for us to take part as citizens in mining in a more sustainable way that helps us even to grow from small scale, from artisanal to small scale up to commercial miners. And that in terms of classification, what determines the size and the category is the amount of land. For example, you find that maybe small scale goes up to maybe 1,000 hectares. The other one may be 250 or 400, 500 hectares. Until you go to commercial, which can expand with consent from the head of state. Remember that any piece of land beyond the 1,000 would require direct consent from the head of state because he holds all land in trust on behalf of the people of Zambia. In terms of land tenure, we have a dual legal system. We have customary land and we have state land.
State land, yeah.
Exactly. So, in terms of activities under discussion, you cannot conduct mining activities using customary law. What regulates is written law or a statutory law, which I have made reference to. Okay?
Okay.
Now, having said that, colleagues, you are going to note that in a way, the idea of putting in place this particular position has allowed us as a country so far to have 1,588 artisanal and small-scale mining licenses disbursed or granted out. 1,588 artisanal and small-scale mining licenses granted out to Zambians, not foreigners, of which 412 were granted to mining cooperatives. Remember, we encouraged the formation of cooperatives when we came. And these cooperatives will have as many Zambians as possible registering under the same roof. While the 1,176 have been granted to small-scale miners and individuals who are exploiting other minerals other than gold. There are other minerals that we have in this country other than gold. I hope we are following each other.
Yes. So,
In other
Mark,
words, government
before
has
before you dive in too much into this issue, I am sure we have people on the panel here that would love to just to ask your question before we dive into this deeply. Ask a few questions that they have on their minds. I don't know about first of all, welcome Kalinda and welcome Ngwenya.
maybe Bachanda. I wanted to lay up first of all a policy background that has been put in place.
Yes.
Before we got to get to a topic that is political in nature.
Okay.
So because then people should appreciate that, so government actually is not stopping citizens, but government has put in place pieces of legislation to encourage citizens. And
Correct.
These are the statistics. After giving that background, then we are going to establish where there is a conflict between this framework and people that want to work outside the framework.
Okay. Go ahead.
Exactly. So
Fantastic.
now,
Go ahead.
I'm saying 1,588 artisanal and small-scale mining licenses, which out while 1,176 were granted to small-scale miners and individuals who are exploiting other minerals other than gold. Because right now, the issue evolves around gold rush.
Mm.
So, as a result of this initiative that has been informed by two pieces of legislation that I earlier referred to at first, two gold trading center, underline that, two gold trading centers in Mubwa and Rufunsa are under construction, slated for completion in the first quarter of 2026.
Mm.
Because the understanding is that there has been no gold centers, colleagues. When those youths do mining in the bush, we have established that there are foreigners that have sacks of money. They are and even equipping these youths with military weapons.
Mm.
So that, because you know that gold is money. So
That-
it has been noticed that all those that are transacting in gold have made sure they are armed wherever they are sleeping to
Mm.
protect their gold itself and their lives. And they don't own basic firearms. Mostly it's mini machine guns,
Mm.
which by law are not allowed to be owned by civilians in Zambia. Many of you may recall that those are the ones that were recovered last time when there was a shooting incident in Mufumbwe. Why did it get a bit quiet in Mufumbwe? It's because over 500 artisanal mining licenses were issued because government said, we are not stopping you from mining.
Mhm.
We want you to mine in accordance to the law. We teach you and train you in safety issues that relate to mining. I'm sure you followed that. Thousands of artisanal miners have so far graduated. The first one was in Northwestern Province. The most recent one was in Muchinga. You find that information online. Government is training the local people on safety issues. And those that may not have the equipment to conduct exploration works, that is the directorate I earlier referred to, which has been established. And then others are being given finances to better manage these mines so that we don't go back to history where people could acquire mining licenses. They could expire and be cancelled without conducting any mining activities. So, be also rest assured that government has a target for each type of mineral. For example, for copper, the target is 3 million metric tons annually. Now, with those initiatives, government has gone ahead alongside these initiatives to recapitalize other mines that were sleeping giants, like you've heard of Kalengwa mine,
Mhm.
which has so far been opened. It was opened in November. Okay.
Mhm.
In Mufumbwe, Kalengwa mine in Mufumbwe, where there is gold, the same place.
Mm.
This mine was non-operational for over 47 years. So far, an initial investment of 200 million US dollars in equipment purchases and exploration works, as well as a further investment of over 1 billion US dollars during mining development has been pumped in.
Mm.
So the opening of this mine, for colleagues, is expected to create 765 jobs and contribute to the attainment of 3 million tons of copper. The goal that I talked about by 2031. That's the goal of government. Right now, we are moving towards 1 million. From below 300,000 metric tons, we are reduced to. So,
Okay.
that in mind, you are aware already that Konkola copper mine has been also, Kansanshi mine has been expanded with the commissioning of the S3 mine, which was commissioned by the president, which is expected to produce over 250,000 tons per annum, creating about 2,000 jobs and with an extended lifespan of 20 years. So, government working with these cooperating partners made it possible for them to even secure 100 million US dollars investment into the enterprise of nickel project mine in Northwestern Province, which is potentially going to be the biggest nickel mine in Africa. For those people that don't know what nickel is, it's normal. You have seen those taps you use when you go into the gens or the let me just say the washroom. What you see to be silver, those taps, they are very shiny throughout. That's nickel.
Yeah. Which I
Yes.
believe on the market is what, higher than gold?
Yeah, it's very expensive. Now, Zambia is housing the biggest now with this investment in Africa.
Okay.
So,
All right.
then government has commissioned the dewatering of the flooded shaft 28. And every time people hear of shaft 28, that's underground mine, because Zambia has two types of mine: underground mine and open pit mine. This is based in Luansha. Luansha was dead. So far, an investment of $500 million has been pumped towards dewatering. The idea is to remove that water underground so that mining activities can commence. Right now, there are floods and floods underground. So that dewatering process has gone above 94% so far. So this particular revamping of the mine in Rwansha is expected to create 3,000 jobs and increase production to 40,000 metric tons per annum. So that particular government has set of 3 million tons by 2031 is not by dreaming, it's by these initiatives and the proper framework. Of course.
Okay. So now let's get back to Mufumbwe, Mark. So now you've established, I think
Plenty
now
of them. I'll be able to share information because of time.
yes,
Because of time.
because of time. So we need to move on. We need to tackle the two other issues. So
Straight now with this framework, with this framework in place, the first part was that government has been engaging these illegal miners. And how did the government engage them? They engaged them that we are going to train you, you register, and a number of them registered. Those are the thousands I was giving you. They registered and they have acquired mining rights. They have been trained and they have been given licenses. But then there are those that are not interested in learning. They are not interested in following the law. Those are the ones that law enforcement agencies are targeting. The unfortunate circumstances that amid this proper framework that allows government to take stock of how much we are producing, how government also getting the market, putting in place two trading centers for gold, so that our people do not hide after mining this gold. They must move with their heads high, holding their gold on a bus or on a plane, wherever they are, in their hands, headed to the trading center with relevant documentation that allow them to trade in gold. That's what we have done. In other words, government has allowed trading in gold the way you sell any other product.
Maize.
Previously, it was criminalized. If here you have gold, you will not sleep. There was unleashed C5. Today, thousands of citizens have been given those mining licenses to mine gold, and government putting in place structures where the trading center will be done, so that we can get this particular product sold at the market price, and Zambians can now benefit and grow in mining activities. Not the way it has been, where you can hardly point at one illegal miner who is rich as a result of illegal mining.
Okay.
The so-called Sparks mine you hear, all those have licenses. They are mining legally. This is what government is trying to do. And they are able to help them undergo some training, because the president has been having business expos where they would bring different business communities to one place, particularly the mining expo, where they exchange ideas on how to mine safely and how to expand in mining, how to mine sustainably, how to also allow the government that hosts those minerals tap into the untapped mineral resources. Now, those who are opposed to the pieces of legislation are committing offenses. In other words, they are criminals. It has nothing to do with the hard-earned cash. Hard-earned cash is not earned by stealing. Hard-earned cash, the phrase hard-earned simply means you have put in place everything that is required. In countries, colleagues, where you are, many of you are privileged to be in the diaspora. you are more exposed to even help your brothers and sisters you left back home. To remind them that where you are, you can't conduct mining activities illegally. They will arrest you.
Okay.
I think,
All right.
I mean, I
Now let me end here. Let's see here contributions.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Ngwenya, I think you got something to say, Mr. Ngwenya. Go ahead.
No. Mr. Suma can finish. Just finish up your point, and then we can proceed. Yeah.
No, he's finished. He's finished his point.
No, I've
Because
paused. I haven't finished.
No, you haven't paused.
I've paused.
Mark will go on the whole hours
Mark-
and hours and hours.
Mark does not go on.
He's got so much knowledge
And,
that
and we are all, I'm also here just to let you know. I've been listening in. I got questions.
Yes.
I have questions.
so Mark will go on and on because he's got so much. He's got a wealth of knowledge. He
The
will
information
be
is
here
so
talking
vast,
for
colleagues.
hours. We'll be here talking for hours.
Remember,
So
I'm coming from a
let's pause for now, Mark.
yes.
Other,
Because I'm coming from a TV program. I was
Yes.
on Prime TV just for an hour. I'm coming from a TV program where part of these things we had them discussed. But
Yes.
then you can proceed if there are questions that relate to the statement that is causing debates. Then I can
Yes.
deal with it differently.
Can I pick it up? From there?
Yes, please.
Okay. Whoever wants to go first, go ahead.
It's me, Mark. I was listening to you on Prime TV a short while ago for the past 40 minutes. Now I'm joining you here again. I had no chance to ask. You see, when you came up with that clip that is showing that Zambia is doing very well, including the mining sector, that's a plus, because when there's a scramble for minerals, sorry to use this word, scramble for lithium, scramble for gold, and Zambia being a destination, we need to put our house in order. Are there enough loans? If investors are going to come and find a disorganized home, they'll easily manipulate us. But if they find that we are set, we shall be too united to be divided. That thing of people having ammunitions instead of mining tools is wrong. The worst part is mining is a waste asset. You can't take back the minerals to the ground. So what we get out now must give us the benefits immediately. Because if we don't get those benefits, we shall remain with the Filongoma. You know, Mark, Filongoma. Those things that are down there, those big holes.
Yes.
We can't invest in those Filongoma, but we can invest in the resources that are coming out from there now. You see, for maybe Mark, what you didn't project is how many truckloads of copper pass by a toll gate every day going to Durban, South Africa? Because at least we need to know that truckload, when it's loaded with copper, what's the value of that? Not to claim that no copper is being sold at such a price. That is too far. We need to see. When I see a truck, I said, oh, that truck is $2,000. That truck is $4,000. That's what I want to hear. Mark, please. Sorry, I'm thinking backward, but I think if I'm brought to those levels, I'll be in a position to understand this thing better. That truckload of copper, how much is it? What's the value?
It's about good question. Obviously, Marco, you can don't respond now, but you can just jot it down so that we give other people to also come in and put that 2 cents in it. Mr. Ngwenya, you haven't been to the show, so I'll give you this a chance for you to since it's your first time, if you got any question, any contribution on the topic at hand.
Okay. So so I have different perspective on this. First, let me just to build that. Number one, when I returned here to Zambia, and just to know, most of you know that I'm in Zambia now. I've been living in the diaspora but I returned to Zambia to live here. And the reason that the number one reason I came to Zambia was to pursue gold and all that stuff. That was the number one reason that brought, for the last 5 years I was. But when I came here, so I got a license to trade in the precious metals license to trade. So I did that, and then I went to Mufumbwe. So I spent 2 weeks in Mufumbwe. I think what Mufumbwe needs, I was kind of disappointed when I saw the army, heard the army They pretty much like went to Mufumbwe, kicking everybody, getting people's properties, and all that. Like I was kind of disappointed with that. I think government in general, like people like you, Mr. Mark, people like the ministers and the people that make legislation have never been to Mufumbwe, right? So they don't understand the impact that Mufumbwe has, and especially the value that it adds to an average Zambian. So the average people that are in Mufumbwe, like, are people that, young men, young women who have nothing else to do. Okay, so these are young men and women who, they are making a living because they were just on the streets in Lusaka or the Copper Belt, or from all over the country. And so they're making a living. So they go out there and dig for gold and all that. Then they come and sell to people like me and many other people who are, who are buyers. I remember the first gold nugget I bought was from a woman. She was pregnant, and the gold nugget was very tiny. I gave her it was 100 kwacha. So when we weighed it was equivalent to 100. So very, very tiny. But she was so happy she got 100 kwacha out of that, right? So in my opinion, when I see Mufumbwe, I've often talked I've often said if I had the authority, would make Mufumbwe into a new city, into the newest city in Zambia that has ever had. Like we can make into the San Francisco of Zambia, right? Because there's nothing. We can start from afresh. We can build everything from the start. And part of that is having, let's say, if I was me, I would get ZRA, I would get, registration of companies, I would get, all these, authorities to go there and set up shop in Mufumbwe. Right?
One-stop shop.
Allow, right, the training and all that stuff right there in Mufumbwe. So
one-stop shop.
Yeah, exactly. We can help, we can navigate the system right there in Mufumbwe, because to tell a young man and woman who's never registered a company to say, well, you need to formalize this and all that talk and all that stuff, it doesn't work. Again, it doesn't work. I think what we are doing, we are setting up failure for our people, but we are setting up success for foreigners. And we have to be very careful with that. The idea of we need order, we need all that stuff. Trust me, what's happening. I mean, you guys know about dengue, right? You know about dengue, which is very close to Mufumbwe. If you know about dengue, dengue now is controlled by, dengue is maybe 60 kilometers or so from Mufumbwe. It's in Kasempa, near Kasempa Tenof. The Chinese have taken over that. And dengue was one of the first places actually where there was a gold rush. So dengue now us Zambians have to go big there to get permission to go dig a little bit. You pay people. What was happening in Mufumbwe actually, it's kind of good and bad, because the police were the biggest problem. It's not the people, it's the police. I paid the police money to go in there to just go and scan. I had a scanning machine to just go there. I had to pay the police. I had to buy the soil from the police. I give them 700 kwacha to get some bags of, some dirt so that I can take it to the machine. So the police were the biggest problem. The deaths that were happening as a result of the police. So law enforcement is a problem. In many ways, the people, generally the Zambians who are there are not the problem. And I think the central government in Lusaka does not understand that. And I think we need to get to a point when people need to go there and understand that, we don't need to send the police and the what to kind of give us a feedback that no, because when those people go, they start charging money to go to the pits. And so when they make their millions and then they walk away, right? So I think we just need to rethink this and come up with a more workable solution, especially for Zambia. Because this is going to cost us, as a UPND member myself, this is going to cost us. If we don't navigate this properly, it's going to cost us some votes in Zambia in general, because that, it's a big money earner in northwestern province when it comes to the gold situation. So we need to find this, I think, a more workable solution. What that is, I am not sure, but I think we can find something better than what's currently on the table, or what Mr. Mark was talking about.
Can I come in now?
Okay, go ahead.
I think I should, first of all, whatever Mark has said is policy. It's good. It's a very good policy pronouncement in terms of what the plans are. And if you remember in the previous conversation that I've had, I have spoken about transitions in government. Most of the things that Mark has indicated were on paper. And they were plans, and some of them were actualized. By the way, when I was Labour Commissioner, I was sitting on the Mining Advisory Committee there because of the Labour component of it. But you see, when we change government, we take everything and throw them away. And the only thing we forget is that you can't throw away knowledge that has been acquired, no matter what you do. The knowledge that I have around the issues of the mines, because I, as a commissioner first, I physically went to each and every mine and did inspections. And I found flaws in how, first of all, at times, how our people were treated in terms of work discrepancies, and then also in terms of contractors, mine contractors, for instance, where a Zambian miner is going this way, they are paying him $250. The other side, they have foreigners and they're paying the $15,000 and stuff like that. So within my area of jurisdiction, we worked around the Employment Code Act number 19. We made sure that let's change the law to make sure that we start to work towards changing a few things for the better of our people. And one of the things that usually happens is that because of these policy inconsistencies and also throwing mud at each other, right now, there is a lot of information that sits with most of the people that served under PF. We were not all cadres as people think. There were technocrats within the government who can be a fountain of knowledge in terms of the transitions. So, Mark, what you've said is correct. Plans around the mineral commissions, plans around the cadastre, plans around this, these were things that were in the pipeline. Now, you may see that where the problem starts with, especially in as far as Mufumbwe and other things come, is when you guys were talking about coming in government. There were certain things said. For instance, we have a plan around you small-scale miners. We're not going to be Jerabos. We're not going to do ABCD. We will formalize you. We already know what to do. We have a plan. We will make sure, like you have said, the statistics you have given, amazing statistics, 1,500 artisanal mining license, 400, what. Do we have those licenses within Mufumbwe? If they are there, how are we treating them? Because they've done everything legal in a way like Wangwenya is. He's a trader. He's moved from diaspora. He is there wanting to trade. To what extent have we removed the bottlenecks in his way so that he's able to trade and be effective as a Zambian? And if Wangwenya is capacitated to the same level, he will be the face of Zambia to show that military grade weapons we're talking about may be coming from that one end, or this one is the one doing this and that. So the moment that you do not focus on our people and the foreigners distract, and I can tell you from a lot of experience, they distract when they see unity. The distraction that you see in Mufumbwe and everyone is not because you guys within the UPND are the ones that are so bad. No. It is the people that want to take business, people that want to trade in gold. They want to exclude the Zambians. And the best way to exclude the Zambians is to throw an accusing finger on a person who gets on a bus from Kalingalinga and finds himself in Mufumbwe. Where is he going to get a military grade weapon? Most Zambians don't even know how to fire guns. Like Wangwenya said, the problem were the police. So if we replace the police with the soldiers who are poorly paid, do you think that they will not start getting the gold in the same way the police did? Because they are able to see what happened to the friends. They are able to say, if you're in a gold area, do you think a commando is guarding and finds 1 kilogram of gold? He is going to say, he's going to think about the government first. So these are some of the structures that you will make. The structures that we are making and how we are treating the people. Because like Wangwenya said one thing, those gold centers, why don't we create them in Northwestern Province? And in fact, people can be paid on government DSA to go, all these government institutions, go and set base in Mufumbwe, make prefabs, make training centers that are prefabs there, and start to control how and educate people how they're going to be dealing with gold and that. But for me, the problem that I found, if I go to Mufumbwe, it is not about that we shouldn't deal with illegal miners and stuff like that. We must deal with that. It's a problem. But when you have the general executes the job. He doesn't do a PR stunt. No, it's not for him. He doesn't need to justify why he's going to act where he's going to act. No, there are enough wings of government that will do the justification. For instance, through the Minister of Defense, through the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I was taken aback myself that a general will be discussing another country and talking about the destabilization that is happening in another country because of illegal mines. Those are civil service jobs. The general goes there, I have an assignment to do, we are removing people, and if there are problems and consequences that come from there, the government, through its structures, takes over to tell us. Bamacha asked the question here, how much copper, how much is getting out of this? Do we know by cent? I happened to sit in Mufuria one day and say, let me look at the gate. When they've done all the production, how many trucks are coming out? 70 trucks will leave that area. And one truck with the current scenario, how much money are we making? What taxes are we getting out of that? So the conversation must be slightly bigger, and we must remove the political lens. If we really have to succeed on this, let's take away the political lens and look at it objectively as Zambians to say, what is it for a Zambian? If it is not benefiting a Zambian, we take it out. The first person that must benefit is a Zambian. Wangwenya is on the ground. Those are the people that we must be able to say, promote these people to see what is there. They are the eyes of government. And if those people are taken out, I can assure you, he's given an example. The Chinese, you will never hear a Chinese press statement on what they're doing. They work under it's an undercurrent. So they've gotten the documents, they've done everything, they fence. Now they tell you to come in your own place, we need you to pay. Now you start paying for something they should have been paying us. So for me, it is the way we are handling this. We need to take off the political lens and have a national lens and see what is going to benefit people in Mufumbwe. Definitely on this, you guys in the UPND, you need to sit down and then you have messed up. This
All right.
one you've messed up.
Point taken.
Bachanda. Yeah, since
Which
time
one?
the two have raised the
Can I also
to just respond
okay? Can I also
before
come in
another
real
one
quick?
comes.
Can I?
Before that, before the other one
It
comes.
No.
looks like Mark,
I
you
understand.
cut off.
Let me-
Today you're in for it because
Yeah.
there's so many people that want to discuss.
Let
Okay.
me. Yeah. Let me come in real quick.
She's the only lady on the show. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, Kalinda Shachinda is my name. I'm a former Times of Zambia reporter. I work for the U.S. government over here. But, so I'm very connected to Zambia and everything in Zambia going on. I have just one quick question. The one quick question, actually two. One, the aerial mapping that we're doing, how far have we gone? And we need to know what kind of minerals are where and how much money the country is going to get from there. That's the first question. The second question involves my father's backyard in Shikatende, in Mumbwa, where I'm hearing we have some Somalians over there with automatic rifles, forcing our people to dig up gold under unsafe environment. What is our government doing? I end there.
Thank you. I think before Mark, you actually just give the answer to all these questions. I don't know if Lawrence is still there or you're driving. If not, but
Bachanda, sorry, I'm here.
Okay, but Lawrence, okay, ask your question because we want to give Mark a chance to, answer all these questions maybe at once if he can. so that we all get the answers. Go ahead, Lawrence.
Yes, so Wachanda, just to put a little bit background of myself, more. Yes, so I have been working in the mines. I worked in Zambia in the mine safety department. I was an inspector of mines. So that is during the time of our KK. I mean, yes, during that time, I think Chuluba. Yes. Also, just want to say, I have a little bit of experience when it comes to organizations of these small minings, for the community development. I understand we have what the gentleman said, we have all those frameworks that are in place, okay, on paper. But Chanda Kazia, I think what he meant, I understand very well, there are Zambians who are coming from the bottom that wants to utilize the resources that we have so that they can also traders, small scale miners. What is the government doing to, I mean, for these people, basically? Okay, this is a simple question I want to ask the gentleman who has put up the framework. What is the government doing for the locals, for the local community? Because if you talk about Mufumbwe, as Bawezi said, Wangwenya, you go to that village, there are a lot of people, when they see gold, they only survive there. This is the only thing that they have that they can, you haven't created them other jobs. Okay. And this is the only way that they can survive. Now you go in and you say, okay, you cut the neck and then you want this person to survive. So what is the government trying to do for these local communities, for these poor people down there? Okay. Just also a little background. I was one of the consultants that went into this Lubambe mine. If you have been to Rumours mine, you will see that there's a local community which is there, basically, which has been developed. Okay, and I was one of those people who were supporting those community development. The compensation of their, basically. The community development. Okay, so I was one of those people. So I just wanted to ask this is a simple question, like as where we are going with the government, what are we trying to do to support those local communities? Those people, a lot of them, have nothing to do in the villages. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. That's a good question. But Danny, before Mark comes in, Dr. Danny, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'll just be listening because I've just come late. I don't know where you guys are, but I'll just be in the background listening, okay?
Okay, fantastic. So, Mark, I think you got your job cut off for you today. Give us your response on the various questions that have been raised on the platform, so that where people are not clear, let people be clear. Because I think most of the questions, if you have to ask me that they're asking, I think you briefly explained them. But because your explanation was so broad, maybe it was lost in the sauce. But just answer these so that people get it and understand what's going on.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And it's my prayer that this is a very good conversation. Thank you very much, Kazia, for that contribution among others, and our only lady that contributed via questions. I appreciate your very interesting, specific questions. Yeah, so I'm glad that you asked about this area mapping. Now it stands as of today at 52.8%. That's the information you're going to find at the Ministry of Mines, as provided by Dr. Kateba, who happens to be permanent secretary there. What are the minerals in consideration? Number one, cobalt, lithium, and nickel. Okay, now that is part of the key, especially lithium. You know that through the protocols, the AAU with the member states came up with a convention of not exporting lithium, and they concluded on the need for value chain. And Zambia was identified as the key countries that house much of the lithium together with other neighboring countries. And as at today, we have started already manufacturing lithium batteries. We're exporting to 8 countries. That's for your record. So Zambia is manufacturing lithium batteries. So I think the issue of where are we, this is where we are.
That's
How
a
much?
big when
Yeah, exactly. So how much are we going to realize from it? There was a question of how many trucks are coming out per day, how many what. I think it's not a matter of counting. They don't count trucks. They count the tonnage, and according to Zamstat, when you visit our website there, the analysis is done on a monthly basis mostly. And the current analysis, which is by month, if Mr. Chanda would want to get something, maybe I'll just share the link. You'll be able to get from 2024 up to the close of 2025 per month, how much we were making from the, for example, copper exports, just to single out a particular mineral. So Zamstat's agency has aggregated every mineral and how much export earnings we get from there. For your record, for example, by as at April, or let me just say April 25th, just the month of April alone, we got about 19.6 billion kwacha. That's copper export, according to Zamstat. Now, with that, of course, there was a fluctuation around March, but later on we went up with more mines that were opened. For example, the one I talked about called S3, the S3, which was commissioned by the president last year, which is going to be producing 250,000 metric tons per year. One single extra mine with a lifespan of 20 years is expected. In fact, it pushed us towards 1 million. And I thought I needed to bring out information in that manner. Let me quickly get to the questions about Mufumbwe.
How much a truckload of copper? Truckload of copper, how
Now,
much?
copper, you have the London Metal Exchange. Copper is sold per ton. So information is there. So what you do is the London Metal Exchange actually varies. So that is where the copper is listed there. But I'll get there. I will still give you the actual because it fluctuates. If sometimes on a monthly or a weekly basis. So it's not about Zambia. It is a global price, that market price that it deals with. It's not
Then
about Zambia and your country. So
a quick one just there.
away from now,
A
maybe
quick
if you
one
could
just there.
allow me to answer when
No,
I'm done.
no, it's just taking you back a bit on the cadastral thing. You mentioned 3 minerals. Did you mention copper as well there? Has it been found somewhere again?
Now, I was giving you an example of many others so far at 52 that have been prominently explored.
Okay.
Yes. So what is happening is that gold is not only in Mufumbwe. I'm sure
Okay.
you know that last year 5 licenses were given just in one district to the new mining in Mumbwa, where the business center will be housed. The whole of this area, Rufunsa, you remember there was a research under the Patriot Front which was conducted on the mining in the Lower Zambezi.
Yes,
which was stopped by a number of documentation. Yes. So the whole of this area, my brother, is dotted with minerals. Zambia is rich.
Okay.
Gold is there right now. The gold rush is in Muchinga. That is the issue now. The Zambians have relocated. They've gone to Muchinga. So the exploration works are going on with the institutions that have been established, and those are the cooperatives that I talked about are not in Mfumbwe. They are across the country. Some are in Rufunza, just within Lusaka. Some are in Mumbwa. Others are in Muchinga now, in Mpika. Things are happening there. That is why government has expedited the process of constructing an airport, in fact, an international runway in Nakonde. ZNS is working on it. and we are also expanding as well. And hotels being put in place. I'm sure you're aware that Kasama is done. We are already putting in place hotels. Urban hotel is with an international standard is already in place. Mining activities around the area are beginning to take shape. But let me quickly get to the questions. Thank you very much for that follow-up question.
Okay, thank
Yeah, the issue of we don't know Mufumbwe. I gave you an example of Kalengwa mine when I said for the past 47 years it has been non-functional. It simply means that exploration works have been done as far back as over 50 years ago. That mine I talked about, Kalengwa mine, was down for 47 years. It's the first time that is being revamped. It is housed right in Mufumbwe. So the issue of mining activities in Mufumbwe are not new and strange to the country. And it's not on another planet that it should never be known. It is actually known. When you look at the dynamics of the country in terms of the bread basket, you discover that it is conducted across the country. And even when you go to Zamstats, in terms of economic census, all the districts in the country have statistics of how many people are there, how many people are living in abject poverty. Now, poverty is not an excuse to using illegal, to acquiring things illegally anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter how extreme it should be. We have to simply put in place policies that are pro people. For example, just the particular mine that was under serious contestation attracted over 400 licenses in Mfumbwe alone to allow those youths that were mining illegally to start conducting activities. And the first graduation ceremony was conducted in Northwestern Province for those artisanal miners. Now, how simplistic is the process for an ordinary poor Zambian in Mufumbwe who has never been to school? That is why that directorate I was talking about has been established. So that people that are not able to read and write, but they know minerals and they know how to count money as basic or elementary knowledge can easily get these artisanal licenses. And mind you, the over 70% of those that have acquired those artisanal licenses and cooperatives have not reached tertiary institutions. Just like on the copper belt, those you call Jerabos who are conducting mining activities, most of them are dropouts. But they know copper, they know the minerals they are looking for, and they know how to count money. So you're basically dealing with people with average knowledge that are trainable in skills training. That's why the UPND introduced skills training. And as at last year, beginning of the year, we so far trained 200,000 youths in in skills training, which includes artisanal mining, so that they acquire knowledge beyond what they can see in terms of minerals and counting money. Now, when you look at the situation that is in Mufumbwe, when UPND came in, we found, for example, there's another mine further there, a famous mine, Kasensele. We found it closed. There were calls that it must be reopened because the previous government under ECO deployed soldiers there. Why did they deploy soldiers? Because when police were taken there, you go online, you find this information. There was a serious exchange of fire between the police and the illegal miners. It was like we were not in Zambia. It prompted President Edgar Lungu to fly there to really see what was going on, because that kind of activity has left devastating effects in other jurisdictions like DRC, where miners grow into militias, illegal miners grow into militias. They identify the buyers. So what we have not asked, as much as we sympathize with the people of Mufumbwe, which you need to know why Edgar Lungu sent soldiers, is who are the buyers in the bush? It is the same question which has made this president send soldiers there. And that is where the problem is. They are coming in the country legally with money in the bush. That copper, those minerals, that gold is not accounted for by the government. And they are living like that. In some countries, due to diplomatic issues, we may not just mention countries anyhow. They are controlling parts and regions. And other countries have been allegedly supplied weapons because they house one of the biggest gold refinery in Africa, and yet they don't mine gold. It's one of the biggest gold refineries in Africa, yet they don't mine gold. But they are accused of supplying serious firearms to these that started as illegal miners, who have now grown into militias because they could not accept to be controlled by the central government. They are now running their own government. Now,
Mike, a quick question on that. Does it mean that in the people that we've given our licenses, do we suspect that some could actually be taking arms to fight our government?
Okay. Maybe, Mark, before you answer that question, let me just amplify this. I think the problem with Mufumbwe is this, or the problem that if we don't stop it now, this is what's going to happen. Even like, I think it was, I forget who was saying that, while we giving examples, maybe it was you, of a different country. This is how it starts. Militia starts simply by minerals. Look at all the countries where there are rebels, militias, there are minerals there.
we are surrounded, my brother. Yeah, let me complete by saying we are surrounded by countries we are learning from. And we are busy sending peacekeepers there. We are learning from them.
Yes.
Just recently, Sadiq Sat, I'm sure you saw it. It's about minerals. As I'm talking to you, I think the Minister of Home Affairs is already in DRC. It's about the same problem, friends. I was just talking to him 3 days ago in his office. It's about the same problem. It's about the same problem. So now, the question of who are the buyers? That is why that was PR from the military. Don't make a mistake. Government knows what they are doing. Because while that is happening, diplomatic channels have been followed with other countries, but because those countries are known to have harbored some rebels who are still there, and therefore the who are the buyers question, it must be answered in the affirmative. So when you saw the man issuing that statement, it is going direct to who are the buyers. And how did they enter the country? Remember,
the Somalis are the buyers.
No,
and
I'm
then
coming.
how they
I
entered
haven't answered your
the
question yet,
country.
Mami.
Yeah,
I
okay,
haven't answered your question yet. I'm glad that you gave an example, and that is the danger. Now, foreign nationals who are coming and then they are armed, do not use police officers to deal with that situation. They have crossed the boundary of your country. So now, I don't want to preempt everything. That's why I seem to be speaking in riddles, because you are yet to hear more discoveries. In the first place, I want to finish up with the questions. Also, knowing that Bachanda.
Let him finish up with the question.
Knowing that we are flying to Kasama, there is a by-election tomorrow. We have a very early morning flight.
Okay.
So I want to quickly deal with the questions that have emerged.
Fantastic.
Because I haven't packed. I'm yet to call the national chairman and coordinate with the provincial chairman there. Exactly. So that is, I'm giving you the status so that I quickly deal with the questions that are key. Now,
yes, okay.
So what is happening is that who are the buyers? Government will not preempt, but they are dealing with them systematically. From the time of President Edgar Lungu, the who are the buyers question prompted him to fly into Northwestern Province. And later on realized that it was beyond a poor Zambian in Mufumbwe and those areas. It was about those people that our mom, our auntie here has raised. And those people require soldiers in countries that have been destabilized. Mostly they have been destabilized by the foreigners. Now, let me say this. The ones who are financing the riots are the same foreigners. You don't want to lose your sovereignty. Because what is happening is that because they are buyers, they are telling them that if you do not fight, then we are going back with the money. Here is a poor person, and they know where the money is, and they know what they're supposed to do. They are ready to fight for it, even lose life. So the fight for gold rush has in mind a buyer. And this buyer is in a foreign land. He doesn't want to follow the rules. He has no trading license.
Arrest them. Arrest them.
When police are deployed there, I want to speak in riddles. You are told two police officers have disappeared. Now, you don't want to alarm the situation. How have they disappeared? Oh, okay. We could also hear some gunshots. Okay, the process then requires military action. We have to move in. So ECL did that. Not that he did it and we have to do it. We have to look at why did he do it. We realize that the developments are the same. There is encroachment. There is encroachment. The buyers are not Zambians. Then after they've grown so big, they start shooting the same Zambians again. Who are found with God, they'll find them in their house, kill the mother, kill the father, and then there is a police report that police are looking for, they have embarked on a manhunt. They found a parent, a father, a mother, and a child killed in their home. Reasons are unknown, not knowing they were actually keeping God. Now, what is government doing where you have the Somalians killing Zambians? It is exactly how are the Zambians being killed? How did those people who are coming as foreigners own such guns? Then it requires military action. So now we have to release people that are skilled in recovering firearms. In recovering firearms from these criminals, and later on protect life, give the Zambian people the licenses. Because remember, the licenses have been secured in such a manner that they should not be accessed, those for smaller ones, by foreigners. Then two, that they even the supplies in the mines, anything below 20 million kwacha should never be given to a foreign national. Any supply in the mines, that's a policy that has been put in place. It can only be accessed by a Zambian person. So the next issue that I need to address on the series of questions is an issue is that has government misfired by stopping what's happening? The government has not stopped mining. The over 400 Mufumbwe residents there are still conducting mining activities legally. What has government done? They have stopped those that are being sent by the buyers to join the people that, because the people that have the licenses have raised the red flag. They are saying, you stopped us as government from mining because you had no licenses. You have given us the licenses in Mufumbwe, but you are allowing illegal miners to come and mine in our areas after you have given us the licenses. Who is reporting? It is the Mufumbwe residents that have been given licenses. That now, these people that you are allowing are threatening to kill us. They have come with guns. They are armed. We have the documentation they do not have. They are saying Twala Firira Munsenga. What is government doing? They must rush there to protect life. Colleagues, that's what is happening in Mufumbwe. Those of you are getting things in bits because you hear the military man has spoken. What he did there is PR. The message is very deliberate. The target is known. So unless you want to lose a portion of your country to another country, and you are willing to do that. So let me conclude by saying that when you say women are poor, we need to, I like the way the first speaker started, who said that we can actually make Mufumbwe into a new city, a city. I agree with you. Now, if you look at the definition of a city, a definition of a city has rules. A city has a framework. It doesn't deal with illegality. Borrowing your terms, a city where you are there has rules. It has roads that have signs. You are not going to just drive anyhow and move in any direction. It has order. So how do you get to a city? You start with policy. You start with papers. You start with feasibility studies. You start with legally registering your own people. In a city, people have legal documentation. There are municipalities. There is regulation. There is policing. There is protection of those that have acquired rights. That's how a city is, which you want to promote in the name of Mufumbwe. And this is what government is doing. And criticizing government is basically fighting the very spirit that you want to promote of coming up with a city. A city has a framework and the training systems. We are saying we can train these people nicely, come up with a one-stop shop. I've told you that now God is everywhere. God now is everywhere. So now we are talking about Muchinga. Then where you are saying the Chinese have taken over. For us who are lawyers, Bakajira, I will tell you the taking over is in a way misdirection. You are basically saying something has been picked. Something has been picked by force. That is to take over.
My point of correction, I'm not the one.
Looks like we have
It's a
sorry.
man.
lost
I think. Oh,
connection
thank
here.
you. Thank you.
I don't know
Anyway,
if it's
It's a man
general
in
thing for everyone.
Mufumbwe who's the one who said the Chinese have
thank you,
taken over.
Bakajila. Thank you. I withdraw from you. Let me direct it to the Mfumbwe man.
The-
Guy is,
what
is our cousin also. Wherever
Mr.
he is, that Mfumbwe man.
Wezingwenya. Mr.
Yes.
Wezingwenya, that's the man.
Thank you, Bakajila. So thank you for that correction. Then so abo bangwenya abo. Yeah, so you come up with rules that fit the country, not a particular area. So whatever pieces of legislation have been put in place, they are for governing Zambia, not Mufumbwe alone. It's for governing the country. Then the next thing that is key is that where you are saying Zambians have to go and beg from another area. What happens when you acquire farming rights? You buy a farm and then you acquire a title. It's given to you. It means people that come in your farm without consent from the owner will be cited for criminal trespass. Even if they are villagers who come from that particular area where you have gone to run a farm, because you have acquired land rights to conduct farming activities. Your property is protected by other pieces of legislation. So when you say that now the indigenous have to go and beg, we are saying indigenous there, giving that as an example, are also acquiring. They also want to work the way the Chinese are working. And it has been given. Mufumbwe people are now working like in a decent place because they've acquired those mining rights. And further, when you say the Zambian miner is paid less for the same mineral, then a foreigner gets 15,000. I agree with you, by commission. Now. I agree with you because exactly what we are trying to address. And as you may have indicated that everything starts with a paper. It starts with paperwork. We have a situation where a Zambian is paid a 250. A foreigner is paid a 15,000. So why is there that disparity? Because systems either collapsed or they did not properly exist. We have to put in place a system where the market will be open for foreigners and the local people. Then when it's open, we can have prices that are reflective, market reflective prices. So I should further mention that this has nothing to do with PF. It has nothing to do with UPND. It has everything to do with Zambia. I've given you two examples which look similar in the same area where two different presidents have taken the soldiers there, finding almost the same problem of who the buyer is. Then we have the answer. So if we have the answer, then it means we have to secure our interests. I should finally end by indicating that I know when you said many Zambians don't know how to fire guns, you should also ask yourself how criminals or thieves end up firing guns. To learn how to handle a gun is not like going into class where you learn from grade 1 up to university until you become a specialist. Even a person that has never been to school will be taught how to fire a gun. So obviously that shouldn't be a debate. Since guns have been recovered, you have seen also my cousins in Zambezi during the ceremony. You saw guns were recovered. So that's not a joke. Those are serious issues. So centers maybe someday could be set up strategically in many other places, especially after they have infrastructure that allows for proper security, a proper airport. So far, Northwestern Province, I think, will be the only province that is going to house 3 airports. 3 airports.
3
For
airports.
yes, for strategic reasons, such as what we are discussing. So there will be 3 airports there. The other one will be in Lumwana, the other one is going towards Mufumbwe and Zambezi there. So
So anyway, can I jump on?
Then
anyway, yeah, you
so
can
so
conclude
this issue this issue where you are saying government has enough wings. Yes, government has enough wings, but I think we are now speaking in parables because it's an issue of a security nature at the moment until we are finished with more information. Like I mentioned to you, that the Home Affairs Minister may has since left for DRC. There's a lot that is being discussed around everything, and the extent to which the military statements were issued is yet to be discovered after everything has been done. Certain things based on where they have reached required a military statement for negotiations to be taken seriously. So I'm sure with that statement I've made, we are getting something. We are getting
Yeah.
something. Exactly. So let me end here. But I also want to beg Vachanda. This is towards 20 to 23 hours. I will share with you the itinerary. We are flying very early in the morning.
Okay.
I wanted to suggest that I can be available
Mhm.
for more engagements on the same subject, so that we
Only-
can deal with other thematic issues. If I could seek the indulgence of Bakazia and many others, that you excuse the media director, we make preparations. I get in touch with the national chairman. We
Okay.
agree on what time we are leaving for the airport to
Mhm.
fly to Kasama. And also
Okay.
I get in touch with the leadership in Northern Province, the minister on our arrival. The assistant to the president is also in Kasama before they sleep. I engage
Okay.
them so that
Okay.
we make those arrangements.
Okay. Fine.
Thank you.
No problem. You can drop off and do your business. But I think we'll still be on because we got a couple of topics. Or if not, you can tell me whenever you have
Definitely,
time.
definitely,
Yeah, and we
definitely.
can
We are
arrange
going to deal
on a
with the
different time. Yeah.
exactly. We are going to deal with many other issues
Yeah.
by sector, and then in winding up, as you allow me to go, the
Mhm.
president is fit. The working leave
Mm.
is not peculiar to him. At the time, from the time of Levi Patrick Manawasa, you remember, you
Mhm.
could see Kalaki even dramatizing it, Kalaki, that Mwerewere goes to Mfue. So,
I
yes,
like.
so
Um, I
others
remember.
decided to do different things. They would go somewhere else and so on. So,
Good,
these
good.
are very, yeah, so
Go and
it's
watch
visible
Naked
almost
Girl.
every day. Almost every day is on the screen. He was engaging, he hosted the Catholic, as you may have seen.
Mhm.
They were having conversations around a misunderstanding that needed to be addressed, given that we have lived under the same flag as a country. There
Mhm.
are no differences of opinion that should never, never leave us, divided. We should focus more on disagreeing on principle, but living under the same flag, understanding the core values that support a successful democratic dispensation. So,
Mark,
as this said, thank you very much, Chanda, and I wish you the best of luck as you continue in your conversation.
One
Thank
more
you.
thing.
One more thing, as you leave, Mr. Maximue, I need to know
Let me just
why Tarsila Lungu, before that, Chanda, you come in. I mean, I'm going political here. Why did Tarsila Lungu acquire that 25,000 hectares of land in Sinda? If the president has the final say on that, I just wanted to put it out there.
No, in the meantime, madam, I do not have the details in terms of the acquisition.
Yes.
The point is that it's not that she cannot acquire. You get the point? The point is that she can acquire, except there should be consent from the president.
And
So
the process.
if the president was the father,
was the father.
yes, then that raises another issue that would require further probing. So now that raises a different issue. But as a Zambian citizen, she's free to acquire something. But
Absolutely, I
something that
agree with that,
require,
but that's protected land.
I'm saying,
Protected land. It's just not
no,
regular land.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. The president, all land is vested in the head of state, who holds it in trust on behalf of the people of Zambia. So even protected land, it can be degazetted by the president again.
And be given out.
Yes, so this is why I'm saying that I have not looked
And
at
then
the
we are
document.
promoting global warming.
No,
Let's just
I'm
put it out.
coming. I'm saying we can discuss that issue as an isolated incident after I've acquired the documentation, because right now you and me do not know whether it's on title or it's customary land.
So
because we don't have the document. Yes.
Okay.
So
All
it will
right.
be premature for me to respond because I have not looked at the documentation
Mark,
of what kind of
Right.
rights that person has at the moment.
Mark, I have one final question for you, and I'm glad I should have said it if I had stayed long. I was going to speak about it maybe in the last. But you have raised a very good. The president met the Catholic bishops and was talking to them. Then you have one of your cadres goes out there and calls the bishops idiots. Can you sanction such people, please? Because we
so
can't
now,
have where one of your guys has a video. This guy has a tendency. Every time something happens, they are the guys, same guys. He goes. The president is meeting Catholic. Then these are idiots. These idiots.
Now I'll tell you something for yeah, I hear you. That is regrettable. I'll tell you something for your tech that you see, this is what the Cyber Security Act we discussed many months ago it wants to cure.
Let's start with that guy. So that we are able to see that, okay, now it's not just Miles Sampers who is going to fight that, but even the people that when you say the people are on their own, it really means that they are on their own.
As you have indicated, the priests, their job is to just spoil things and they will just go their way.
No,
and if we could get hold of them.
But when the president
what we have done is that where a person has issued a statement and we know that they are within reach, perhaps what we are going to do is to distance ourselves from that statement. So I want to assure you, if you have that kind of statement and you've seen it, the video, share it with Chanda. Send me that statement. By tomorrow, you are going to see a statement of UPND distancing itself from that person and also perhaps even asking members to report to the police so that person is actually pursued. So as a media director, I'm giving you the assurance that by tomorrow, if you send the video and it hits my inbox, by tomorrow a statement will be in public.
I will be very happy if I can see that statement, and also that he must face the consequences of it. You see,
of course.
The thing that we talk about, Mark, seriously, and I think you coming here is good. But you see, it's these issues where there's a bit of double standards when something happens. Ensure you yourself as media director that when someone does wrong and something that you do not accept, let's see you say, yes, we may differ, but we can't be disrespectful. We can't be insulting each other in that fashion. Yes, we can differ on principle and opinions and stuff like that. But when we see some people like, oh, they are a special being, them when they do whatever they are doing is fine. I think for me that really gets to me very, very deep.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he gets the
No,
message, and I
no,
think he
I
has
hear
already
you.
responded.
I
Yeah.
hear you. I'm sure you've seen that we are on the record. Our cadres misbehaved in Livingstone 2 months ago, where they even harassed ECZ officials during voter registration. One of our cadres was even shot in the knee. I'm sure you saw it. We expelled those cadres, and those cadres have been arrested. They appeared in court. The other group of cadres was one cadre was brandishing a gun at Garden Court in Kitwe. I was with the Secretary General during that press conference. We expelled them as well, and police officers have moved in. So this is exactly what we are trying to create, because you know, people that become truant, it starts in small activities such as this one, which looks small. Eventually it grows. So the moment we let loose of these people that want to do things as they wish, then we will have no country to talk about. So we are firm on that, and I agree with you. Let me have the video through Bachanda, so that we work on it with my team. Tomorrow a statement is issued, and then we will engage some youths that are going to make sure that such a person is reprimanded and brought to book. I thank you.
All right, thank you. We're gonna let Mark go because he got so many preparation to do for the Kasama trip. Thank you, Mark,
Right
for taking your
on.
time.
Good evening and safe
So,
travels.
Thank you.
thank you, and thank you for attending. We'll connect on the other end, and yeah, thank you for joining us. All right, the podcast continues, guys. Let's continue with the second topic of the day. By the way, how's everybody doing?
We're doing great. I'm doing great myself. I don't know
Yeah?
about others.
It's been
Right here,
well,
right here in the Midwest, we are going through a snowstorm. And let's not
oh,
even bring in the man upstairs, because that's just another conversation for another day. So let's
we
just deal with the snowstorm right now.
no, we had one a couple of days ago. Okay. So second one, let's go directly into the second topic. There has been in the media, as we know it, there's been that propagation or propaganda being raised by the opposition to say HH is very ill, is about to die, he's sick, he's nowhere to be seen. Where is he? I mean, it's been there for weeks and weeks and weeks. You see what I mean? It became some sort of like what do you call it? Like a story, like where everybody now started believing, oh, maybe the president is sick, and people have been raising alarms, only to find that the president was on a working holiday in Choma. He was busy at his farm, and he clearly said that, look, instead of me spending government money, because he's entitled to go on holiday, he's entitled to get his family. They go to any part of the world, go and enjoy vacation. He's entitled, right? So, but what happened was everybody else was busy thinking, oh no, he's sick, he's what. But he just decided to go to his farm, do his family business, tackle with his family business, handle his family affairs, take care of his animals. And once he's done, he goes back to State House. Gentlemen, especially, I think maybe let's start with Vakazia.
Gazia.
Let's start with you. If the president is sick, is nowhere to be seen, that's the opposition. That's what they were saying.
You see, the president is a servant for us. He's a servant. He's not like a boss. No, he's not. People should be asked quickly, so we should ask. The only thing when they ask anything, that is all. There is no politics around it. Everyone has interest in what he's doing, what he's eating, what he's saying. Because they pay him.
There's some noise in the background. Just mute yourself, guys, if you're not talking. There's some noise, so that we hear everybody. Yeah, go ahead, Vakazia. Vakazia, can you go ahead? And everybody else that is not talking, let's just mute ourselves.
Okay.
Makazia, can you go ahead?
Yes, I was saying.
Now we can't hear you.
He's in the rural part of Canada.
Yeah, but Danny, don't make me laugh. Yeah. Oh my God. And he's in the rural part of Canada. Anyway, he's dropped out, I think. Yeah, he's dropped out. So in any case, but Danny, continue if you want to tap on that one where this
Yeah.
propaganda has been existing.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because this is all propaganda that has been propagated by the opposition, starting with Shoni Zero Tembo. Remember, he was saying, I always call the president in the morning, every morning. I say, hi, Mr. President. When did he? He started calling. Did you see him when he was saying, no, Mr. President, is he there? What? I said, when did he start calling the president every morning to say hello? Anyway, so yeah, it's all opposition. To me, just because their leader died mysteriously, whatever, they just wish our leader as well was going to die in such a mysterious way. But it will not happen. So that, to me, we should not even respond to that. We should just ignore it. Our president is conserving national resources by not going in these expensive holiday destinations or going to watch naked teenagers in Swaziland. He's not doing that for his holidays. So it's yeah, because some presidents used to do that. They used to go and watch naked teenagers for their holidays.
Really, Doc. Really, Doc. Did you have to say that?
Yes,
Just
they used to
the
do that.
image itself, Doc.
I'm saying some Zambian president, past Zambian president, some of them to the Riti ceremony. They never used to miss that. That was the climax of their holidays. So our president is going for ranch, taking care of his animals and whatever. And he was walking around the villages around. You remember I was seeing him walking around, meeting these village girls and boys. It was fun. It was nice. I think to me, if I go to Shikatende right now for my holiday, I think that would be my best holiday ever. And then I start walking through those small streets where I was young. It reminds me of the time I was a little boy in Shikatende. You know what I mean? I think that's the best therapeutic holiday you can have. Going to your own village where you grew up, where your spirits are. I think that's the best. So instead of going to Mufumbwe or read ceremony somewhere, no, just go to your village. I think that's the best holiday you can have. So let's ignore them and let's move on.
Hello.
I don't know where others are.
Oh,
we're here. We're around. You're around.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's around. Okay, so let's have you finished? I went to check on something.
Yeah.
So the issue at hand here, we're talking about the president, if he's alive or not. Of course, he dispelled those rumors, and why the opposition had the audacity to come in and trying to make the president is sick or dead.
Batanda, you had bumped me out. I was think I was on the floor and trying to just say that
No,
the president.
but Danny said that you're using Mulikururo area of Canada. That's why you're bumped out.
Fish oil down. So my point was, there was a PR problem from the people that handle the president. When the president is taking a weekend leave, people must just be told, the president while taking a weekend leave for the next 2 weeks, he will be at the farm. It's a working visit, a working holiday that is taken. And that's where people know that, even if he's taking leave, he's still working. If he's taking a leave where the vice president is going to be the one to handle the offices, that is communicated to the people. You don't sneak the president out of State House and land him at the private, at his home, and then you keep quiet. When people start asking, present. That was just where the problem was. But the president is a human being. He can be sick. He needs to rest. He can go where he wants to go. We shouldn't have a problem with the president going where he is. But because he's our servant, we have to know. We have interest to know where he is going for a holiday, for leave, and everything else, just in case something happens to him. So Tapari Nangufimu feel very special about it. The opposition have a right to ask you about the president, and they can make speculation when you don't tell them. Just tell them where he is. Chapwa can take it to the way he wants. Ngana mwewa to a president now you don't need to explain the details. Now right to farm period. And you must do that before he takes leave. Not now 1 week. President let's not handle the president like that. He is a human being. He needs to deal with that. So if you it doesn't add anything to the presidency. He is a human being and he must be interested in his well-being and in his health. Not if you are about your president, no, opposition shouldn't. Opposition have a right. This is what has happened in Zambia. We want to see where the president is, and there's nothing sinister about it. I submit.
Okay, before everybody goes in, I think let's give chance to Wachkonka. He's been trying to connect, dropping off. Wachkonka, we're giving you the floor.
Okay, I know. I appreciate that. It's like I'm lost on the topics. Where are we at? Because
so now we are on the president being alive. We've just finished discussing the illegal mining in Mufumbwe. Mark just did that. We discussed it. I don't know if you were here when Mark was here.
Yes, I listened to it.
Now we just started the topic of HH. The rumors being castigated by the so-called opposition that are saying, oh, he's dead. They're wishing him dead. I wonder why. Like, what kind of Zambian are you? Why would you wish the head of state dead? Why would you wish some death on somebody else? Like, that's what. I don't understand their thinking. Like, what is it? What, like, you really hate that man so much?
Yeah.
That you wish him dead?
Well, now we need to look at what is the setup for that. What is the setup of our leadership? First of all, our president is predominantly available almost all the time from the time he kind of assumed office. He's traveling out of the country. He's on television doing all this and that, rallies, whatever, meetings and all that kind of stuff. Those things are almost always published, and you can see televised on national TV and things like that. Now, you got to remember, when that kind of expectation is put out there, the populace who obviously wonder when he's not doing it. It's been a week he's not doing, and the 2 weeks maybe he's not doing. What's going on? We have seen this man every day on TV, but all of a sudden is this. So as you know, sensationalization of news that goes on with social media, Emmanuel Mambado, people start making things up. Now, do we think it's worth even discussing? I probably think it's not. It doesn't even need to prove to anybody that he's alive or not. It doesn't matter. They can say whatever they want. But it's an expectation, or they set it up that way, and unfortunately,
Hello?
It seems like Wachkonka is gone. Can you hear me, Watanda? Hello?
I think the problem is with the host.
Yes, I think so.
The problem with the Chanda, the host, that's the problem. It's not us, the guest. It's him who has a problem. Well, before the host comes, I like the explanation of Simue. I think he's a better spokesman than some people that are spokesmen for my party. That's what I can say. He speaks better, clearer, with facts. That's all I can say.
I had quite a lot of some questions, but because he's gone, so and he's promised to come back, so I would only urge that maybe Bakamulete for a much longer time where he's going to say I'm sticking around the entire time. Yeah.
There's a lot of good things happening in our country. A lot of good stuff. We are on the right path.
Debatable.
Facts. He was giving facts there, which is good.
And he was giving facts.
Yep. Numbers.
That's why one of the things for me, I was to interrogate now the numbers. The numbers are given, now let's interrogate them.
Hello, Bakazia.
Achani.
How are you?
I am okay. What
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Mwalubira kwisa.
Hapo twala Bakazia.
Mwalubira mpoa imwe.
Twali kuchawa kuba election.
Mwalubira
mwali tuibira feda mwali tutaligi bashari.
Takwaga liginyi zate liginyi. Imo chawa mwaleta kalimanzirani mwamupera kwa drenga mule mnazuta abantu naba mutimwa imejua. How could you behave like that?
Mwali liginga ilia.
What can you do that? He is a very good member of parliament with Chawama, and he understands the issues. Next school, government policy, private sector policy, he understands that. Not Mwaya Bulo Muntu, at his resume is just he was a petty boy chap. Can you put around to Chawama?
Okay, Daniel, how are you and Happy New Year?
Happy New Year to you, my brother.
Thank you very much.
Long time.
Yeah, I'm back.
That's very good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, give us your take, and since you're on the ground and you're there in Zambia,
okay.
I'm sure now there's power. Why you've been cutting off in terms of connection? Like there's power now.
You, the host.
No. Where I am, the network is bad. So I'm using the Wi-Fi. So the network is bad. That's why I'm cutting then in and out because of the network. It's not because of power, no. So maybe the quick update is that I think those who are in like Bakazia, where you are here in Zambia now, we are in the Champions League. It's us now are getting UEFA this year, and Champions League is at Zambia, and we are getting. That is the update. It's happening here in Zambia.
Things are good, are going well.
Yes. So maybe comments on those issues. I think for me, like talking about the opposition, I think from the time they lost power in 2021, I don't know if you can remember anything that they said, something which is maybe was something constructive. From 2021, if you remember very well, they said, we've done the post-mortem, the reason why we are lost, so now we are coming back. What happened? Nothing. Bill 7 came. What did they say? They brought propaganda. So that is the opposition that we have. The president went for a leave. Yes, it's like it's okay to ask where is the president, but not to say he's dead or he's sick. Honestly speaking, is that checks and balance? Is that the work of the opposition? No. So it's like the opposition, they want the president to die. Why? I think in Zambia, as Zambian we can do better than coming up with those.
Yeah. You don't want people to talk about the president. Daniela, are you there?
Me, I'm here.
Vachanda, are you there?
Vachanda, the host.
Yes, hello. I'm back at Shanbani.
He's the one who is cutting off on. I think your network, you are hosting anyway.
No, but in the kutina abashani ngabantu bambi vale sangwa poshani. Taire kutuka.
Mwachifumapo apata mwachivapo.
Mwachivapo apa mwachifumapo.
Okay, blame it on the host. Okay, I take the blame. I take the blame.
Okay. So
number like any to okay to after. Then to run the press club and let's talk about education.
Education, you know? That area I like it. Education has been, in terms of functional literacy education, we have done very, very well. We are able to read and write Japwa, but to go into the analysis, what a punish.
Okay, so you know, but President, when he just came back from his working visit or working holiday. He came back and immediately, he met with the people from the education system, you know, from the school board. So and then they presented to him, and then they discussed, and then he said, "Look, we now who's
Am I allowed to start or not?
No, you know, because I was trying to bring in the topic.
No. Okay, bring the topic, then I'll join. Then I can speak. Okay.
Yeah. So after he came from the working holiday, and he said, "Look, can we enact put free education as, you know, as law now?" Okay. So now when the parliament opens, there's going to be a proposal to enact free education. So that it's going to be law now. So that when the next government comes in, they will not reenact or, you know, redo what the current government has done. Because a lot of people, a lot of Zambians have actually been benefiting from free education, believe it or not. You know, a lot of Zambians, you know, poor people that have benefiting from free education, the food, you know, feeding program. Imagine that wakwata fiama leaders kwa tiro takwete bari abakale bali. You know, no more meal allowances. But they'll be the same thing. They'll just no more free education. There's no money. Okay, because they don't understand, you know, the economics and how things work and how you can actually, you know, find money to give free education. So he's saying it should be in law. So like you realize all your own safety. Guys, a calendar fet ni free education. Whether they like it or not, it will be free education. Tanzania, they've just announced, even him, what's his name? He's just announced that we are going to have free education from now going forward. Zambia is being used as a blueprint for all these things. Bakaziake, you can continue now.
He's gone.
Wachanga, let me be honest with you. That free education fallacy of duping abantu bonsa abashara is not right. One of the things that we've done is that I will support that law if it will say that also muntu from a certain level in government should never take you to a private school, but he will sit in those classes where everybody is. You can't have a two system of the people that you pay for. You pay for their children to be here in Canada, doing bachelor's degrees, running the schools and everything else, being exposed to the latest technologies, latest education systems. Mwavika in a class of 100, and you are the one who goes to say, no, education is an equalizer. And when you are saying education is an equalizer, all they are seeing is cadres get a V8. Cadre grade 4, because he can beat a lot of people, you come and reward him with a Ford Ranger. Mavika ponenda lama. Abana benu imwe mwebalelanda. If we ever ourselves permanent secretaries, ministers. If you go to Chingelo, I told you, it's like you're in a cabinet meeting. The minister's children are in Chingelo. I was watching Chipokarela and Teresa. Ask any of these if you want to have Kablonga boys, or he goes to Munari, or he goes to Kamwara Secondary School, which used to be the case when we were growing up, which is the case here where we are. If education is an equalizer, Umwana and Mwana provincial premier, they sit in the same class, exposed to the same education system. We have a dual education system, one for them, the ones that we are ruling, and then the rest one for us. For us, we must be able to say it's a small class, 25 at most, or 30. For them, it's 120 in a class. But meanwhile, those at 120, they pay for my car, they pay for my fuel, they pay for my travel abroad and everything else. But them, they're in a situation where there is no computer. Tamuri computer class. For them, we must be able to speak. This free education thing, we must look at it. Free education is good, but it must be equitable for everybody. The free education must go to everybody. And the people that are running government, they must put their children in government schools. Go left private school, leave government, go and be a businessman. Then you move to private school, go left government. As long as we have these double standards of their education and their education, because this is a new phenomenon. When we were in school, the school was equitable to everybody. The private school sprang up. Canada and was done in the you know that. How many children in your area go to private schools for? We all strive to be in government systems. Bus systems run, school feeding programs running, scholarships running, you earn them on merit. So if you have a president, yes, it's good for politics. It's very good for politics. Yes, politics, that is the way to go. You invite the unions, you invite the what, sit down and give them a very nice public relations meeting. And then after that, then we go, yes. But to analyze our education system and what we are doing, we are not helping our people. If not, if we want to really do that, let's put money to it. Let's finance it adequately. The University of Zambia is in the ruins right now. What money are we putting in research and development? How much are we paying the lecturers? How are we treating the teachers? Yes, we create free education, but how are the teachers treated?
Okay, Mashimwana, but let's also talk. You are
Go
going
ahead,
to do the same thing.
Go ahead, Radani.
Oh, sure. So, Chabachan Dakazia, he's talking about two things here. Okay? You're talking about free education and the quality of education.
Start debating me. Debate you.
Okay.
Bring in your statement. Because when you start saying and it will not be good. Because I'll start debating you.
Can I say something? Okay.
Don't say I'm saying this when I can say it myself here on this platform.
Can I say something? Please. Now, free education is good. The only thing that we have introduced to all Zambians is free education. The second phase of this free education is to fund the educational sector. That is what we need to do now. So we have done phase one to make sure every child in Zambia that wants to go to school can go to school without any hindrance. The second phase will be funding these schools adequately. That's second phase. But the fact that we have introduced free education to every child is a good thing. We should not criticize it. So we have a good problem. We have given free education to everybody. Now let's look into the funding. That's increasing the quality, enhancing the quality of education to these kids. So that has to come in now as second phase. So we cannot criticize the minister or our government for introducing free education. No, because your children are going to Nchengelo. No, it's fine. Their children are going to Nchengelo because the quality is not yet up there. So let's now deal with quality. So we cannot criticize free education for introduction of free education. That's what I can say. So let's applaud the government. Let's say, Kwenyu, now let's increase the quality of the education in these schools. That's all we can do. So, and that will come. So we cannot say, oh, don't introduce free education, as long as if free education cannot come together with quality of education. It's impossible. It will not happen because it's very expensive. So the quality will gradually increase. All right. And what we're doing now, we're going into the trades, technical type of subjects now, hands-on stuff. So which is very good. So that's part of increasing the quality of education. All right. That's all I can say.
Thank you, Adani. So, in a nutshell, I think it's been a brilliant show. I think we've tackled most of the issues, and the most burning issue was the mining sector, which is like Mark said, it's a discussion of another day. We can come up with a part 2, and try to tackle it in all different angles, but according to what I've gathered in terms of information, or just as a summary, it's been discovered that, look, they are certain foreign entities that are actually working with our local Zambians.
Mm-hmm.
And what they're doing is this: they're coming with money funded from whoever and from wherever. When they come to Zambia, they organize these guys to say, guys, start mining.
Mm-hmm.
And then they start mining, they give them a little bit of here, a little bit of incentives here and there. You can imagine they even videos there. They say, Eva boss yaba, Eva boss yaba, Eva boss yaba. The guy can't even speak English.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So these are the issues. And according to intelligence, but intelligence. They have intelligence. That's what they are doing to go there now. Me is a plus, because one, we have to nip this in the bud before it becomes bad.
Yeah.
That's what has led. Area example from Congo. If we have time to Congo, if you have time to know what you kuseka. Because they're just like jokes.
And now we have M23.
Same thing even in Nigeria. We've got Boko Haram.
Boko Haram, yeah.
You see? So, Mozambia muno, taturingiri to Africa pama levels. We shouldn't just sit, let the people suffer for now. Let's clean up and reset and start. Because the main aim, if you watch the interview, permanent secretary, Ministry of Mines, he was saying, look, the main aim is just to clean up the system. Don't mine anymore. We gather you, we tell you, can you create cooperative? Okay? We don't want you to be illegal anymore. Create cooperatives. 10-10, 20-20. If your people in Northwest Bros are listening. 20, 40, 50, 100 kashinga mulibanga mwaikolonganikana mwapanga cooperative. The government now is going to do what? They'll start teaching you and how to mine safely. They'll give you that information. Palami pira nama mining licenses, artisanal licenses. So now you'll be small scale miners. Now when you become small scale miners, which means ngamwaimba. You have to now take where? You take to there will be government representatives. They pay you for the true value. Because you can imagine a nugget of gold, it's just been discussed. It's like a black market. Okay? So people will sell it at any price, anyhow, because the people there, obviously, they are ill-informed and ill-educated. That's why I want to educate them. And then they sell it at a loss to these briefcase foreigners. These briefcase foreigners are going to arm their rebel factions where they are, wherever country they're coming from.
They found a box of ammunition, which is only owned by military from certain countries.
You see?
Box of ammunition.
So that's what it is. So, because if you look at these rebels, they go country to country, they see where it's to put in peso and then they are funding those rebel groups.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you can imagine if Zambia is now going to be connected to these rebel movements, they're saying they're getting their resources from Zambia.
Yeah.
How are we going to look in the international market?
Yeah.
So we have to come in now and control the situation and stop it before it goes any further. Mamona, go ahead.
I have a submission there. Mamona, there are videos where the current president, indicated about knowledge and a plan before you even stepped in government, and condemned ECA when he sent the military to go and guard Kasenseri mine. That our PF, these are criminals, they don't know how to run things. They are treating you as criminals in your God-given land. If we are UPND, we have the knowledge, the financing mechanism, and even explained 5 years down the line, what have you guys done? You have gone back to the reset of 2020.
Didn't you hear what Mufumbwe said? We have trained 200,000 young people.
Listen, when you were talking, I thought you said you keep quiet.
You said, what have you done? We have trained the young men.
No, but why do you think you should interject? I shouldn't interject you. No, chill first. You have your time to speak. You had the He wants to distract me. You had said you had a plan in 2021, before 2021. This is 2026. So if you have done that, and why are you having problems? If those 1,400 you've given licenses, you have trained them, why are you having problems now? You want to go and exterminate them?
Yeah.
I think was it a ghosty committee or you just told us the whole world. Listen, Wakazia.
Listen,
you told the whole world. Now listen, Moneni.
Yeah.
You told the whole world that you were sitting on the committee. Mines and all that stuff. Relating to labor, but you were there and you were seeing things. Morenji ama issues are there just yatamberefe didi na issue PND yakwata ya Ingram power. Mufumbwe has always Mufumbwe did not just start existing after 2021. Let's just be honest with each other.
Let me tell you something.
Mufumbwe has always been there. But so let's not lie and trying to say, plan. Okay, yes, we had a plan, and that's why we're implementing it now. What plan did they have?
Jason, are we having a conversation or having an argument? Because if you're going to...
Because I'm going to tell you, answer to what you're saying.
We are not having a conversation, you're having an argument. Let's have a conversation.
No. London, and I'm not going to disturb you like you are disturbing me.
If you want to ask me questions, I should be able to answer after my statement. You ask me, number one, I said this, what about this? Don't just say, oh, you said this, and then you make your conclusion. No, I'm here to clarify everything that I've said.
Mufumbwe said what we did in Mufumbwe. You are saying, what have you done in Mufumbwe? Mufumbwe said we trained 2,000 young people. Now you're asking questions.
No, but
Wakazia, you're talking about 2021 program. No, but look, the question is what we need to ask ourselves as Zambians. Wakazia, as Zambians. Okay? When did this problem start? It didn't just start when the UPND became into power. No.
You see, what you are doing, you guys here right now, is you are disturbing the thoughts. Why can't you keep rejecting? What I'm finding so is when I do it, then you have got a problem. Number two, the gold was not discovered then. In 2019, gold rush in Mufumbwe didn't happen. These are new discoveries. You were talking about how you're going to treat the small-scale miners. You said you empower them to do this. You will not send the military. That's what you were saying. So myself, I'm telling you to say, Mwamona. At times we rush to talk, and then the reality is different. So this is a changing reality for the UPND. It is not something that you say, what? It is when you are having a plan now. Because 6 years, 5 years, 6 years ago, it is the same thing that you are doing in 2026. That is why I'm coming after you to say, if you had the plan 2021, it should have started with the Black Mountains. What did you do? You gave more Black Mountains to the foreigners. You went and chased the same people that were about Black Mountain. Our South Africans have taken Black Mountain in Frida. The people are there complaining. So, ukulanda kwali anguka. Everyone can talk about these things, but it is how you implement them. If I've said something that I've not backed up by something, ask me for clarification. I will do. I submit.
Danny. Dr. Danny. Hello, Wakazio. Oh, I think he's taking a break. So, gentlemen, it has to continue for forever and ever. So let's close, and then we can continue next week. And I think we've tackled most of the issues, but area Shiria Kumaini, the and let us not take it like a trivial issue. The issue here is a security in nature, just like Mark has said. It's security in nature, and the action that the army is taking, it's not a joke, and we need to nip it in the bud before the situation becomes worse. Because if we let Mufumbwe be what it is now, we'll have a very difficult task to reverse the situation. Would rather tackle with it now with force, other than cry later. And then people of Zambia will start blaming the current government and say, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Why did you need, why is it? Why is it? Because I want to win a Zambia lalava. And the best thing we can do is do the best thing for Mother Zambia and for the future. And for now, let them move in, close it up, and start training Avena Mufumbwe, Kwapirama mining licenses. Vakese wino na vakatambe no kumining wino. Vakalesha na God wino. Not if you have a short man against for 1 quarter. No. You know, let them come in properly. And then they start getting real money, real value for their product. Okay, that's it. That's all this current government is asking for. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Dr. Danny, I hope you're enjoying your weather. Vakazia, hope you're enjoying your weather.
Thank you very much.
Now.
Thank you very much. But Danny, we don't know. But Danny, anyway, I will call him after this.
Yeah. All right, then. Good night, guys. Have a good day, and we'll see you next week. Bye.